Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and welcome to my pre-release analysis of Huo Huo. In today's video, we'll be doing a deep dive into her kit to understand her role, specialty, and potential strengths, weaknesses, and synergies. As a quick disclaimer before we get started, covering leaks is not allowed on YouTube, but you can be confident I've done extensive research into Huo Huo. So don't worry, I'll get you the juicy pre-release info you need to know by the end of this video, just without getting my channel deleted. And if you like this pre-release content, make sure to like the video and let me know what you think of Huo Huo down below, and I'll try and make these every announcement. Huo Huo is a 5-star wind abundance character with a focus on sustain but also buffing, with the main selling point of being able to regenerate energy to the entire team with her ultimate. And thankfully, the livestream revealed most of what we need to know about her kit, so let's dive into the analysis. Huo Huo's skill is our very first blast heal that heals a target and adjacent allies for what looks like a similar amount, making this a 3-man pseudo AoE heal. Based on the footage, it should be a heal capable of topping off your entire team. So if you put Huo Huo to the far right or left of your team and build her tanky enough to not die herself, you should be able to spam this skill on the middle of the remaining 3 members to keep your team fully healed with the exception of Huo Huo herself. With that in mind, we don't know what kind of gear they were using or the HP of the team in the livestream footage, so we'll have to see how potent it ends up being. Based on the footage, her talent appears to be a special gauge that can be seen at the bottom of the screen called Sacrifice Life. Albert tells us using the skill grants Sacrifice Life, and as he is saying it right after Huo Huo uses it, she gains 2 charges of the gauge. Gauges like this are almost always related to a core mechanic of a character's kit, and so far this is the only thing mentioned it could be. That'll be important in a second. So what does Sacrifice Life even do while it's active then? Well, while it is, Huo Huo heals allies when their turn starts. Additionally, she also heals them when they cast an ultimate. This talent sounds very similar to Luocha's healing field, but a little bit less abusable as it only triggers when an ally's turn starts or they cast an ultimate. But like Luocha, there may be a trace or hidden effect that grants this ability additional healing or an AoE component that wasn't mentioned in the stream. Combining the healing of Sacrifice Life with Huo Huo's skill is likely going to form a very nice healing package, with some passive healing and active healing at her disposal. Now let's go back to that gauge from earlier. This effect is quite powerful, so it doesn't make sense that using the skill once would grant you the effect permanently. The 2 charges on her gauge are likely a turn tracker, indicating this effect will likely last 2 turns. It's worth noting the gauge also does not tick down at the end of Huo Huo's turn, so the effect will likely only begin the tick down at the start of her next turn. Huo Huo's technique applies a fear to surrounding enemies, causing them to run away, and upon entering battle with a feared target, their attack has a chance to be reduced. This technique doesn't seem to be anything crazy, but since it doesn't seem to be an initiation technique and you can fear enemies in the overworld and probably swap to other allies, there is no reason you wouldn't use it. Huo Huo's ultimate is likely the main reason to get excited for her. And after using it, she grants the entire team an attack boost. But more importantly, when using it, she also restores the entire team's energy. But based on the footage, we can sadly see that she doesn't include herself in the energy restoration part of her ultimate. This ultimate makes Huo Huo the 2nd energy battery unit in the game, second to Tinyun. And we all know how busted Tinyun is, and Huo Huo gives it to everyone. Right now, it's not possible to discern exactly how much energy we can expect from this ultimate, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how good it is, but gaining access to and spamming this ultimate is definitely going to be the name of the game when playing Huo Huo. It's also worth noting that after Huo Huo uses her ultimate, the attack buff does not appear flashing on the user interface. This means that it lasts a minimum of 2 turns. One of the main deciding factors on how good this ultimate will be is its cost. To determine this, I've taken a screenshot of Huo Huo's energy bar right before she uses a skill and a few frames after, and counted the pixel difference in energy to give you a rough estimate of how much her ultimate might cost. Based on my pixel counting, we can see that the bar starts roughly 37% full, and after the skill ends, it's 58% full. After putting those numbers in my calculator, we can see that Huo Huo's ultimate cost is most likely to be a number between 140 and 150 energy. But keep in mind, this is only a rough estimate and it's possible that the footage is using an energy rope, so take this with a grain of salt, but I guess it's better than nothing. With all this info, we can now talk about Huo Huo's rotation, which as a sustaining character, we want to achieve 3 things with. Generating skill points, keeping the team alive, and in Huo Huo's case, accessing her ultimate as much and as fast as possible. We know that Huo Huo's sacrificed life likely lasts 2 turns, and that she can refresh the gauge by using her skill. In order to keep sacrificed life active 100% of the time, we'll need to assume a rotation of skill basic, repeat. This rotation maximizes healing and also energy generation, but is absolutely not very skill point friendly. Most teams rely on their sustain to generate skill points, so bringing Huo Huo with this rotation might put some serious pressure on the comps you're used to. As an alternative, Huo Huo could also possibly make use of a skill basic rotation, lowering her energy generation slightly and reducing her sacrifice life uptime to a theoretical 66%. But in exchange, she'll have skill point generation on par with Fushuan, which is certainly acceptable. Thanks to the AoE healing on her skill, combined with the passive healing you'll have most of the time, there shouldn't be any issues with survival. As we know though, the most important part of Huo Huo's kit is her ultimate and gaining access to it fast to give the rest of the team even more energy. The first rotation generates a total of 125 energy with an energy recharge rope. This means if her ultimate does end up costing 140, best case scenario, she'll be missing 15. This energy can be made up for through combat or by stacking some additional energy recharge on a light cone or planar set. But I think it's also very likely Huo Huo will have some form of energy recharge trace that will likely cement her at a 4 action rotation when played skill point neutral, consisting of 2 skills and 2 basics per ultimate. The SP positive rotation will generate either 125 energy as above or 113 energy depending on how many basics and skills you get in the ultimate window with an energy rope equipped of course. The 113 energy scenario is the worst case for this rotation, consisting of basic, skill, basic. But using this, after generating 113 energy, you'll be missing 27. And without an energy recharge trace, this will almost certainly end up being a 5 action rotation. But with an energy recharge trace, this rotation is likely going to be a viable option. Overall, it looks like Huo Huo shouldn't have any issues keeping the team alive, with her skill point neutral rotation having what looks to be 100% uptime on her sacrifice life talent and chunky 3-man blast heals every other turn. She also seems to have decent access to her ultimate, with it most likely happening within a 4 action time frame. Building speed on Huo Huo will likely grant some very good team-wide energy recharge, and with her attack buff being at worst a 2-turn duration, you should also get some good uptime on that as well. The main weakness I'm seeing for Huo Huo is her skill point economy. If she doesn't get an energy recharge trace, she will be limited to the skill point neutral rotation if you want fast access to her ultimate, or you'll be forced into a 5 action rotation, which doesn't seem too optimal. Even assuming we do get an energy recharge trace, Huo Huo's skill point economy might still be challenging with the semi-skill point positive rotation, as many of you guys have probably experienced when playing a character like Fushuan. Although, unlike Fushuan, as an abundance character, the option to skip out on even more turns of her talent is available if needed. You could go with something like a skill triple basic rotation, but I'm not entirely sure how that would play out. As for synergies, it feels like Huo Huo could be considered synergistic with just about any character with an exceptionally strong ultimate, and likely shares all the same ideal partners as Tinyun, assuming they aren't too skill point hungry. The most enticing synergy for me though is that she not only grants your carry energy like Tinyun, she also gives it to the rest of your entire team. Meaning Huo Huo herself is a battery for characters like Tinyun, who is then a battery for someone else on your team, creating a bit of a mini energy generation chain, which is, in my opinion, super duper awesome. That's about all I've got for Huo Huo so far. If you guys want to see the other characters and future characters done in this style, definitely let me know down below and chuck the video a thumbs up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this analysis and learned something new, and as always, good luck with your pulls, and until next time, cheers.